Guys, girls, how we doing? Let me see. There we go. Hey, Laptop Recruitment family, how we doing? So this video is about just this, laptop recruitment. And is it a myth? Is it bullshit? Is it possible? So just want to give some context, some understandings around what this means or what it should mean to you. So first of all, Laptop Recruiter. This is something that I started probably 8-9 years ago. Can't remember exactly where. You know, we're in iTunes now for a while. It's been a while. You know, I've got a lawyer in London, IP lawyer, who gave me recommendations on some of our names, our language, and other bits and pieces over the years. And the reason why is something that's resonated with the recruitment and the search industry around the world. So Laptop Recruitment, the Laptop Recruiter. So what I want to really answer is it a myth? Is it possible? And the main reason why is a bit like doing these videos that I've been doing consistently now is, and I've said in my second and third video, I love my privacy. I want to keep my life to myself. But given the world we live in right now, you need to know who we are. I need to know who you are, and it's part of the use case scenario now of running a business. And your business is an online business, as well as a personal business. It's an online business. So the Laptop Recruiter. When I started this, the intention was to work with people like me. So I left the corporate world. I loved the life hugely. Loved the investment banking world. I loved the media world. I loved the different countries I lived in. I loved the different cities I lived in. I had an absolute ball. And then when I left the corporate world and I was still working from home, there was no way on earth that I was going back to working A, for the man, and B, going to an office and commuting and all that shit. Then I discovered Muay Thai, and the initial plan was to go and live in Thailand, specifically Chiang Mai, which is a rich place for online entrepreneurs. So I created this life for me, and I had a lot of ups, a lot of downs. And then when I came into recruitment, I first of all was working on site with a recruitment company. So I'd go into a recruitment company and I'd set up the automation, the systems. Then it'd be I go on with one other person and two other people, and then we go on with a team, and we'd actually go on site and do these things. And very quickly it was like, shit, I want to work from my laptop. I've left the corporate world. Now I'm going into businesses, essentially working in the corporate world again. It's like, what am I doing? So you take a step back and you go, right, why am I doing all this? In the same way that I strongly recommend you should be consistently asking, why are you doing this? Not to get negative or to find a get out or to get woo-woo. Is because if you find out why you're doing this, what you'll do is you'll find the right business response and the business activity or direction to create the business you want, to give you the life that you want. Because it's easy to go into the corporate world mindset. If you've been in recruitment for 10 years and you start working from home with the intention of going to gym, walking the dog, picking up your daughter, whatever it might be, it's very easy for things to just morph. So what happened with me was I made a very, very clear decision on this. I actually didn't know I was doing it intentionally, but I did it subconsciously. I'm not going to be doing any more of this commuting. I don't care how much they're paying. I was getting paid £5 a day to go and consult. And I ended up actually needing that money at one point. I think in some of the videos I told you, I lost everything when the recession happened with property. I lost property in the Caribbean and everywhere else. But I was true to my guns that no. And my best mate said to me, he said, Andy, either you're the bravest man I know or the most stupid man I know. You've quit the corporate world, earning a fortune as a young man, and you're doing this. But you've left working for the man, or you started working for yourself to create a life. What if I ask you why you're doing it? You're going to tell me, depending on who you are, two extremes, and in the middle, you tell me that you're doing this because you want to really, really help people and change lots of people's lives. You want to help people get jobs and really fantastic roles in this area, or you're going to tell me, Andy, I want to create a model and a lifestyle whereby I can live my own life, my own hours, whatever. But bullshit. Underneath it, you want to fucking earn more money than you earned before. Don't fuck around. Just be fucking honest. Okay, that's part of the reason you did it. Okay, you don't leave your old job and security to make the same amount of money again. So the laptop recruiter lifestyle, first of all, you need to be honest with yourself. Why are you doing this? And I left the world, the corporate world, and I was maybe a bit naive with the world, but I breathe so much positive shit. I genuinely believe that I can change the world. I genuinely believe I can help millions of people. I genuinely believe when I was 14, whatever, I could win the Olympics. Of course, that shit changes, but you need to be focused on, right, why are you doing this? And you get to a point, especially when you're in the corporate world and you get really hardened up to the realities of, like me, losing everything, etc. End of the day, you need to be earning money. So the laptop lifestyle, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? What is it? So for me, the laptop lifestyle was the ability to earn a lot more than I was earning in the corporate world by working a lot less. At one point, I was working 15 minutes a day. My then partner and I went to the Maldives. She was actually a flight attendant, and I was on what they call a jump seat. So it means basically if there's a seat left over, I've got it, or it means sitting with the crew. But fortunately, there's a seat left over. We went to the Maldives on this beautiful little island, and because they were there for, I think they had laid over 5 days, I think it was, and I've gone there, and I'm now doing my thing. So I've now got my laptop lifestyle, and it sounds idyllic. However, what I did do every day is I got up every morning and I started my software. So I had some software created in India many moons ago, and this software brought leads into my business. But every day I made sure I got up and I got my software working. If that software didn't work, I would have sat there for 12 hours getting it to work, despite being in the Maldives. So the laptop lifestyle is glorious, but also what you've got on here and what you've got on here, that ain't going to change unless you choose it to change. And I had this laptop lifestyle. However, the most important thing to me was being more successful than I had been in the corporate world. That wasn't a cognizant, I want to earn more than £1,000 a day. It was just a thing in my head that looking back, I now realise was there. So the laptop lifestyle is something that I went through a really tough learning curve. I remember one guy, I spent $16,000 on a guy, a webinar guy, to show me how he ran this webinar. It turns out that he ran this webinar because he had, I can't remember, it was either literally Facebook, we're talking years ago now, it was literally either Facebook or someone attached to Facebook sent him traffic for this webinar, and he did, I don't know, $500,000 off this webinar, and he showed me how to do this webinar. But I was so naive and not understanding the online world, I didn't realize that you got traffic, you got conversion, you got delivery, blah, 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 blah. You got so much to it, So I learned so hard about the online world and going from the corporate world. So Laptop Recruiter, where'd that come about? So Laptop Recruiter is something you've seen in other videos. I left the corporate world. I then started working with automotive companies, sales companies, and then it was recruitment. Recruitment chose me, essentially, as I said in the previous videos. This really cool guy in London said, if you're that good, come and do a presentation to my mastermind group. And then from there, things just took off. So I've gone from the corporate world into this. I've then ended up in recruitment, and I've basically, I've always been in IT, systems engineering, reverse engineering strategy. I got very, very good at LinkedIn. I was asked to go to Canada and speak, very early on, but LinkedIn was only a baby, so it wasn't really a biggie. But I created LinkedIn like a systematic set of modules, and I actually created a program called the LinkedIn Blueprint, based on a modular way of looking at LinkedIn. At the time, I don't think even LinkedIn were doing it. So I did this, and of course then recruitment people came to me, and then what I'd experienced myself by working with these sales companies and these automotive companies and then recruitment companies is, you know what, you're running your company in a way that is built on a 1980s model. It's not built on an online model or even combining the two. When I went into investment banking, my first company was Nomura, and I went in, and when I went in, it was a year after the internet went live, well, the official internet went live, 1996. So all I knew was online. And when I've come into the corporate world, out of the corporate world, but into business world, working with businesses, but also big corporates, multi-billion pound corporates, they're still treating the online world with disdain or with no structure at all. And I was blown away. So it's like the wild, wild west. So very quickly, I was able to get massive results for recruitment companies because they were not using the opportunity at hand. They weren't using the online opportunity at hand. And then what happened was, I had companies bit by bit start to go from having an office with 5 people, and then they would move home and they create a log cabin, like John as an example. They'd if you listen to John, big high five. I'm smiling for a reason I might say later. Anyway, so I've had companies come to me, and then what would happen is they close their office of like 4, 5, 6 people, and they start working remotely. So the business owner's now working remotely, the team's working remotely. Then what happened was companies were having 5, 6 people, even up to 35 people, and then they're cutting the team down by 35 down to 6, from 6 branches down to 2, 35 staff down to 7. I think I was right, or 7 branches. Anyway, it's a long time ago now. But what's happening was these companies were now going remote, but not only going remote, they're actually changing their business model. They're changing the business model. So working from a laptop and the laptop recruiter wasn't necessarily about working from a laptop per se. It was about a change of model, about a change of thinking. And that wasn't, I didn't create a mission statement at the beginning and a vision for this, but it's how it evolved. So the laptop recruiter, as it is today, essentially means, right, understanding recruitment. We got maybe, traditional recruitment 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Now we've got maybe you're in transition mode, things need to change. And then you've got what I call my world. Most of my time is creating new strategies. So we've got this transition going on. And of course, everything's not online. It's not like using, like 𝐂𝐷𝐴, great tool for video interviews, etc., etc. It's more than that. It's the whole business model. It's the whole business model. And then creating an asset, like an asset you can sell. For example, WhatsApp sold for what it did, not because of its capability as a communication tool. It's because of the ecosystem it had created. I'll say it again, WhatsApp, when it was sold, it wasn't because of the communication system they had created. Mainly, it was because of the ecosystem they created. So they created this, in our world, it'd be all the clients, all the candidates, then we've got this automated nurturing, then we've got automated authority, then we've got this automated campaign, which means essentially we hit go, and we've got a 70% response rate within 24 hours from the 79 candidates we want. Or the opposite from clients. So we're looking to sell a business. We're selling an asset nowadays to an investor, which is an asset based on an online model. And as Darren said, one of my members said, listen, at the end of the day, you're always going to speak to somebody. Of course you are, always going to speak to somebody. But you want to be speaking to those who are hiring. You've overcome the objections. If they've got a preferred suppliers list, or if they've got internal recruitment or HR or talent acquisition, or if they've got other recruitment businesses or search businesses, those objections have been overcome before you speak to them. That's the way you want to be moving towards. Not to say, right, I've got an email in, pick up the phone. No, that's not scalable. So the whole laptop model is about understanding nowadays. We are in a world whereby pretty much everything is online. Yes, you need to speak to a client. Yes, you need to speak to a candidate. I'm not saying that isn't the case. But the laptop recruitment model isn't a model of hitting a big red button and then, ping, we got a business from doing nothing to 100,000, 100,000, 500,000. No, I'd actually say, if you're coming from a traditional model, when I create a game plan for a new member, that first 30, 60, 90 days is bloody tough. It's stuff they've never done before. But the growth rate, the ability to double, treble, quadruple. And what that means is, number one, get more leads in, convert more leads, get more matching candidates, convert more candidates, but then get higher fees, get retained, then move you out of actually speaking to clients, then move you out of speaking to candidates, etc. That is the model that I profess to, and that is the laptop model. It isn't just working from a laptop, pressing a button. So what overpins or underpins even all of this is the same as what I told you 10 minutes ago. When I quit the corporate world, and then when I started this life, there's been many times, if I knew how bloody tough it would be, I wouldn't have done it. I didn't have a mentor. There was no one else out there who'd built recruitment coaching, mentoring. There wasn't anyone out there who'd built these systems, who was taking one system, another system, then thinking about building up this mapping. No one done it before in recruitment. I'm not saying that I'm some sort of stupid genius. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, I had so many opportunities to give up. But there was something bloody minded in me who said no. So when we work from our laptop, and as a business owner now working from our laptop, is it possible? 100%. Is it going to pay you more than the old model? I believe 100%. Someone will come and say, I want to get 20, bums on seats. I want to get 20 desks this next year. No, what do you really want? Well, we want to do 1.5 million. No, what do you really want? What do you want to take out of the business? What's your 3-year plan? Do you want to sell it? What are we looking to do here? It's we're thinking about things in a different paradigm. We're still thinking about recruitment as the operational way of thinking, 10, 15 years ago. We still haven't, converted to it. What's happening now is people are being forced to. Everyone's going online. So number 3, because so many people have now been forced online, I actually think the whole industry has gone backwards, because every man and his dog is now, just give you a simple example, sending emails. They're doing it wrong. They're not doing, I don't know where to start with that, but anyway, they're doing it wrong. But as an example, so your client's inbox and your candidate's inbox is being completely, filled up. LinkedIn changing their operational rules now, from 100 a day to 100 a week, means more of that sort of crap will go on. And it also means that more crap will go on, people saying, right, get on Snapchat, or social media is what you need to get clients, candidates. And you know what? It's had another dozen shiny objects. All you need is a client, matching candidate, convert them, deliver. That's it. So, laptop recruiter lifestyle. Is it possible? Yes. Is it hard work? Yes. Is it harder to work in an office doing the laptop recruitment lifestyle? I've never ran a recruitment business from an office, but I'd say it probably is easier. But I'd also say you need more patience. You need to have more consistency in yourself, and you need to have more control of your day and better project management. In terms of actual base numbers, as in revenue being brought into the business, in turn, most importantly, profit to the owner, is it more? I can't say 100%, I was gonna, but I've not spoken to every recruitment business owner who works from an office in the world. However, those I've spoken to, and I've spoken to businesses who are 2 in an office up to 40 in an office. In fact, sometimes more in an office, and then actually knowing what the revenue figures are, what the profit figures are, what the director is taking. I'd say 100% this model is where a recruitment business owner wants to be. One caveat, of course, is maybe they're building a business to turn over 50 million to sell it to whomever, okay? But overall, I'd say yes, it's a much better model. But it's not press a big red button, but I would say it's a better model. So with that said, Laptop Recruiter, this evolved, and for the last sort of 5 years, maybe a bit more, been very, very clear about what it means. But each year, even this last 6 months, we've upgraded our model again, and our pillars, our strategies, because the environment changes, everything changes. But I would say if you're thinking about whether with me or you do it yourself, doesn't matter. But I would say, end of the day, you're probably going to get forced to do something at some point along these lines, and it would be good to be the person leading the charge. But laptop recruitment, yeah, 100%. So that said, laptop recruiter family, hopefully that was of use to you. Any specific questions, give me below, because often it's difficult for me to give context if I do a webinar or something like that. So I just want to give a bit of context around it, but hopefully it's been of use to you. Any questions, hit me below.